Hi guys, we are back again with another video. So this is Bernada, and Bernada is really dark skin. So the thing with dark skin complexion, it can be a little tricky, but just watch and see how we created this magic. So we started with her brows this time. So I first used a shade of powder to mattify her brows because we don't want any greasiness on the brows as usual. So after that, I started using this gel liner from Higa and Esther, and I used it to outline the brows at first. So that's what I'm doing at now. Though this liner was too kind of light for her, so I had to darken it a little with the black pencil that I have, but nothing too harsh though. So you can see it's popping out a little. So I went in with a concealer from Ellie Girl, and I'm just using it to conceal her brows. Remember, the key is to make sure that your brows are clean and straight. So make sure the concealing is clean and straight before anything. If not, your brows won't come out neat. So I finished up with her shade of foundation at the beginning of the brows and at the end of the brows, and then the top part of the brows. So basically where we're using concealer is just at the middle of the brows, just to highlight it a little. Then went in with her shade of foundation, and that's it. So after that is done, I went in with this moisturizer from Blossom Cosmetics. It's like the snail moisturizer. I went in with it, and then I'm just going to moisturize her whole skin. But I already added some serum on her under eyes, so I just reduce the crackiness and puffiness of her eyes. So I'm just applying this moisturizer generously on her face, and not forgetting her under eyes. I just want her skin to be soft, and I want the skin to also absorb all the moisture. We don't want a dry, chapped skin before we apply the foundation. So you want to take your time and do this because the skin needs to be moisturized, and then the moisturizer had to absorb into the skin too. Very important. So you can see how that looks. So I went in with my second coat of moisturizer, and this moisturizer is from Cosrx moisturizer as usual. Like, it just does the magic. So I'm just applying it into the skin, making sure that the skin absorbs it all. Now we're done with that, I went in with this foundation from Beauty by Eddie. I usually use the one I have for her, because it honestly works for her. Like, it works so well for her, and you can see the skin match. It looks just like her skin. So that is what you want to go for. So we blend your foundation. Please take your time. Don't be in a haste. If not, having a lot of we'll be having like a lot of harsh lines. But mind you, I already used primer first though before I applied the foundation, and the primer I used was from Rimmel. I used Rimmel primer on her T-zones, and that was just everything I used. So first I used the serum, then used the moisturizers, two moisturizers, then the primer before I went in with the foundation. So I used a brush to blend the foundation into her skin. Now I'm using a beauty blender to push it into her skin. She's a dark skin person. I told you their skin is tricky. If you're not careful, her skin is going to turn ashy, and you just have to be careful about that. Now we're done with the foundation. I'm just going to start with the eyeshadow look. So where she's going to, they said that she should dress to kill. So she needed something that is going to be popping on her eyes. So we are going for a popping eyeshadow. Yeah, she's a dark person, and we are just going to look for how we can do something for her and let it not, so it doesn't look like she's doing too much, but she's actually glammed. So I went in with my eyeshadow primer, and this eyeshadow primer is from Beckham Ageless. That is what I always use. So after that is done, I went in with my transition shade. It's just a light brown transition shade that is close to her skin tone. So that's my first transition shade I'll be using. I'm just focused on the top of her eyelid into the beginning of her brows, and that's where we just made the transition shades at. Then I went in with the first eyeshadow I'll be using, and it's from Blossom Cosmetics, and I'm just going to be using this gold, is it gold or champagne? I don't know, but when I was looking at it, you're looking like a champagne gold, but that was what we used as our first eyeshadow. After that is done, I went in to line, and I'm using the liner from Hager and Esther. So I'm just going to use this Hager and Esther liner. I'm going to line and then smoke it into her eyelid. You want to take your time to do this so that your line is going to be straight and clean. Now I'm done lining, I'm just smoking it into her eyelid. That is all you want. So this is going to help to intensify the eyeshadow. It's not just going to look flat and bare, it's going to like give it some kind of gradient. So this is what I'm doing basically. I'm just trying to smoke it into her eyelid. Very important, like, because she's a dark skin person, and then you don't want anything that's going to be, she wants to pop, but she shouldn't look like she's doing too much. This is going to make people to understand that she got her makeup professionally done and not just by any person. So now that is done, I went in with a pigment from Shaded Beauty, and I'm just applying that pigment just to add a little shine on the eyes. So now I went in with highlighting her eyes, and I'm just going to highlight her eyes with this concealer. I don't really remember the concealer. I think even if it was Juvia's Place I used, I forgot. I think it was Juvia's Place because I was playing a lot with Juvia's Place when I was doing this makeup on her. And I think it was a Juvia's Place. I just can't remember. Honestly, I can't remember. So I went in with my beauty blender. My beauty blender is from Batman Cosmetics, and it's soft, it's nice, and it helps you to blend out easily and smoothly. So if you notice, as I'm blending out the face, I'm trying to use the concealer to lift her eyes. So I went in with a shade of bronzer, and then I just bronzed her face quickly, bronzed her forehead, her cheekbones, and then I went in with a shade of blush, blushed her face just to bring back life into her face, because foundation and highlighting is just going to flatten out your face. Now that is done, I'm just going to also contour her nose. Make sure you blend this process properly. Make sure if you're doing it, you blend it properly and blend it into your eyebrows, bring it down to your nose, and it's going to come out seamless. You don't want to create like a line on your nose. You're not leaving a line there, it's just an illusion, and that's it. So after that is done, we're about to set her face. So before we do that, we make sure that her under eyes are clean without any creasing. So I'm just going to let her look up while I do all of that. Then I put her setting powder. So this setting powder is from Miracle Cosmetics. So because her face looked just it looked like it wasn't really highlighted for me, and she also wanted a bright under eye, I just went in with the setting powder that is brighter for her skin tone, so I used the cinnamon instead of using nutmeg. I used cinnamon, and that is just what we're going to work with. Bernarda is actually a very dark person, so now we're done setting the places we want to set, and I'm just going in with my blush brush again, just to bring back the blush and every other thing that is around the cheek. See how bronzed her face is? So we're just going to line her waterline quickly. We're still going to use the same gel liner that I used earlier. That is the Hila gel liner, and I'm just going to use it under her eyelid, on her waterline. And after that, I'm just going to smoke out the edges because I just don't want it to look like it's just there. What I'm just doing is just basically smoking it out and making sure that I'm just putting everything together. So now we're done smoking out. I'm just using this powder to lift her under eye. I just want her face to look a lot more lifted, and that's it. I think this is my new trick. Now that is done, I'm just going with my blush brush again to take out any powder residue that might be coming in contact with the blush. I don't want that. And mind you, Bernarda likes a lot of blush. She's actually extra for a Ghanaian because Ghanaians they always like playing it safe, but Bernarda is actually extra. So I went in with these lashes from Lash for Dolls. It's a mink lash that I got from her. It's actually very beautiful. And you see the difference the lashes make on one of the eye to the other one. So now we've put the 2 lashes and it's coming out now. So I'm just going to take off the excess powder under her cheekbones. I don't want it to sit there for a very long time. So after that, I'm just taking out the excess powder under the eyes because I don't think we need them anymore. Just take your time to do this and it's going to come out nice. Remember, she's a dark skin person, so I didn't necessarily bake. I just set her face to avoid ashiness. We don't want her face to turn out ashy. You still want to maintain her complexion, but she's going to be glammed. Just note that there's a difference between baking and setting. So I went in with her lip. Because she's pretty dark, so I went in with a black lip liner first. Then I went in with a brown lip liner to coat it on it. Now we're done with lining the lips, so we're just going to go in with this shade of lipstick. I feel as a dark skin person, I'm trying to maintain her complexion. I'm just going to stick to it like a brown like lipstick. So this kind of is ombre, it's on the nude side, but I'm still going to darken it a little because her eyes are already popping and we don't want the lips to pop as well because it's just going to look sort of hilarious and we don't want that. So just take your time to blend this process. Take your time and blend this process and you'll be fine. So now we're done with that. I'm just going to use this lip gloss that I have from Ezekiel Cosmetics. It's actually a very brown lip gloss, so I'm going to use it on the lip line alone. I told you, Bernarda likes a lot of blush, so you can see how popping her cheek is. Like, she doesn't play with her blush. So I went in secondly with the last lip gloss I used from Eyebrow Cosmetics, and I just applied it in the middle of the lips just to make it a little bit brown than it was, but ombre but brown. I don't know. So we're coming to the end of this look. So what I'm basically doing is just to highlight her face, but this time not with an actual highlighter but a glazed balm, and the glazed balm is from Mismetic, and I'm just applying it because she says she wants her face to appear a little dewy. So that is what I'm doing basically. So I told you she's a blush girl. She told me to add another blush, which I am, and this blush I'm using is from Tehila Cosmetics. I won't lie, it's actually pretty on her but I'm not going to wear this much blush on myself, but it's Bernarda and it's actually really pretty on her. Honestly, I'm not going to lie. So most of the brands I use are mostly from Nigeria and some of them are the foreign brands. So I'm just Still going in with my glaze balm, I'm just going to highlight her skin even more. At this point, we are done. So I'm just going to I set her face with Miss Metty setting spray, and just finishing to this finishing spray from So Cool Cosmetics, and then that's it. So hope you like this video and hope you learned a thing or two, and please subscribe to my channel. Also click on the notification button, very important, so when I post you'll be the first to receive it. And please leave a comment. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Mwah.